2022 was a return to a sense of a bit of normalcy at the box office. We only had 3 movies that hit over the billion-dollar mark, but we had plenty of movies in 2022 that were absolutely fantastic, from streaming releases to theatrical releases to straight-to-video releases to whatever. That distinction should really be gone at this point, but 2022 was amazing, and these are the top 10 films from 2022. We have some honorable mentions here because there were a lot of movies I wanted to get on this list, but just barely got edged out. So like a movie like The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nick Cage. That movie was absolutely joyous and one of my favorites, but it just barely missed out the list. Something else like Thor, Love and Thunder missed out on the list. I loved that movie. You know, I love heavy metal. And, you know, I love Marvel movies. And so getting those two and putting them together basically in one package was a great choice. But there were some other movies out there that also missed the mark a little bit. Some smaller stuff from studios like Beast with Idris Elba I really enjoyed. But let's just get to the top 10 right now. Starting off at number 10, we have Marvel's first foray into that little tiny slice of horror. We have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this comes from Sam Raimi. It has Benedict Cumberbatch. It has Bruce Campbell. It is one of my favorite Marvel movies that they've ever made. It has this whole overarching theme that runs through it of, you know, grief and loss and regret. But it comes through in this wonderful sort of horror package with the whole storyline with the Scarlet Witch and Stephen Strange finding more about himself and all of that. And you combine that with the stylings of Sam Raimi, and you get one hell of a Marvel movie and one hell of an entry in the MCU. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the best comic book movie, besides one, of the year. It's the best Marvel movie of the year. So if you haven't checked this one out, it's a pretty good standalone watch if you watch it alongside Doctor Strange, because you really don't need to know all that much about the MCU to get into this movie. And so I really like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so check it out. Number 9 comes a movie from Netflix. We have The Atom Project, which I saw earlier in the year, I think it came out in May. And I really, really enjoyed this movie. It was surprising. I was very surprised. It's directed by Sean Levy of Free Guy and Stranger Things. And he adds his own stylings to it. And you have the needle drops throughout the movie, particularly the foreplay long time one by Boston in the movie is stunning. And it's just a very heartfelt and emotional movie wrapped around this action sci-fi plot with some, albeit shady, deep fake sort of de-aging of Catherine Keener. But other than that, the movie is absolutely amazing, and it's one of my favorites of the year. It's just very emotional. The Walker Scoble, the little kid in it, is not annoying whatsoever, and I hate little kids in movies a lot of the time. But Ryan Reynolds is charming. Mark Ruffalo and Jennifer Garner are both great in this movie as well. And you really can't go wrong with The Atom Project. It's an excellent, excellent movie, and you might cry a little bit at the end, but check it out on Netflix. Number 8, we have the newest entry on this list, and when I tell you that Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge, goes right along with any horror heads movie, a favorite list out there, you need to go see this movie. Go see it with the first one. You don't need to see the first Scare Package to understand this one. There's a very quick recap, and it's not really like it's anything too great. You just need to know that Rad Chad's funeral is happening, and this video that's playing is what's playing at his funeral. And so the cool thing about Scare Package 2 is that it's an anthology. It's like Creepshow, but it has the sort of frame over the top of it is that Rad Chad from the first movie is dead. And he's showing this movie, and he's showing movies that he's recommended to his friends, but they haven't watched because they don't watch his recommendations. And so each of the movies gets shown throughout the movie, and it just goes absolutely insane. It has comments on horror culture, horror movies, the whole genre as a whole. It celebrates the genre. The villain even has a bit of a good arc in the movie where he's talking about how horror movies need to get more respect, and really they do. And so just go check out Scare Package 2, Rad Chad's Revenge on Shudder, or you can buy the Blu-ray when it comes out. But it's an excellent, excellent movie, a joyous, just fun horror movie anthology out there, and I can't recommend it enough. It's one of my favorites of the year. Up at number 7, we have Scream 2022, the 5th entry in the Scream franchise. And this one came out in January. It was the only film to upset Spider-Man No Way Home, while it was juggernauting the box office, it came out on top and for 1 week, and then obviously Spider-Man came back. But Scream is amazing. It comes from Radio Silence, the same people that did Ready or Not. It stars the same cast from the original films, plus some newcomers, and it just does what Scream does best. It skewers genre, it skewers the horror movies out there, it skewers films, it skewers fandom, and the line from the movie, "How can fandom be toxic?" is so goddamn topical every single time something new comes out from a longtime fandom project or whatever. So it doesn't get much better than Scream. And to boot, the mystery was great. The gore and the kills were brutal, and we're getting a new one next year in March, so hopefully that one's good. But Scream 2022 was an excellent, excellent entry in the franchise. How you do the legacy, sequel, requel, whatever you want to call it, Scream was great. I did a video review of it you can check out on the channel as well. I'll put that link in the description and maybe a little thing right here, wherever the tags go, but you can check out my full review of that. But Scream does deserve to be one of the best movies of 2022. Number 6, we have The Gray Man on Netflix, and Netflix has been out there searching for their IP for whatever they want besides Stranger Things. Stranger Things is their biggest hit. They need something else. The Gray Man has the possibility to be that, and it's an action thriller, sort of espionage, over-the-top action film starring Ryan Gosling. Chris Evans plays the villain in it. It's directed by the Russo brothers. And The Gray Man is absolutely amazing, and I loved this movie so much. It just had a lot of heart as an action movie. The performances were fantastic. Chris Evans is obviously one of the best action actors out there, and he is an absolutely magnificent villain in this film. And so it doesn't get much better than The Gray Man, and really, you have to see this one to believe it, but check it out on Netflix and you'll really enjoy it and you'll enjoy yourself. We're getting sequels and spin-offs and everything for this one, so hopefully they're as good as the first one. Number 5, we have Prey on Hulu, and I'm praying that this one gets a Blu-ray release, but Prey was a breath of fresh air for the Predator franchise. It was so simple in its execution, but so well done. Dan Trachtenberg was great as the director here, and then Amber Midthunder as the star of the show. Get this woman her own damn action franchise because she is amazing. This movie does a really good job of just showing how dangerous the Predator is. The plot is that the Predator goes back to, I think the 1800s and runs into some French trappers and Native Americans, and it just leads to what you want to see out of the Predator. Now people want to see Predator going back to feudal Japan and medieval times and all of that. You want to see the Predator everywhere fighting humans throughout, and this is the first contact that they have with the Predator. And it does do a little bit of retreading with the first movie, especially with the finale, but the finale is just so good in the way that the Predator gets out-hunted, out-tricked, outsmarted by Amber Midthunder's character. But great, great movie. Check it out on Hulu. Let's please get it a Blu-ray release, please, because I want to see it on my shelf and I want to own it because Prey was absolutely amazing. Number 4, we have the third Netflix movie on this list, but we have Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. This recently came out. You can check it out on Netflix now. I saw it in theaters, which was a great experience to see it with a crowd full of people and all of that. But Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig do it again with Benoit Blanc, another mystery to go through, and just another skewering of pop culture and, stupid people that think that they're truth tellers when they open their mouths, and, people like Elon Musk and others out there on the internet that might seem like they're pretty smart, but end up actually being quite dumb when you dig deeper into it. And rich people aren't actually all that and have no skill besides being rich. But Glass Onion does that and more, and it wraps it up in a nice mystery that's sort of like an Agatha Christie sort of Poirot story. But Glass Onion, for the prescient commentary that it has on everything from COVID-19 to stupid rich people to everything in our culture, it's a great movie and you'll really enjoy it. I really enjoyed Glass Onion, so check it out on Netflix. Hopefully we get a Blu-ray release for this one as well, because Netflix, loves to not put their movies out on Blu-ray, but for the love of God, do it, please. We're going to the top 3 here, and here's a movie that I gave a score of, I believe, a 95 to when it first came out, and I watched it again, and I was like, nope, that needs to go up. And, of course, I just said the title. It is Nope from Jordan Peele. this is another one that has a lot to say about genre. It has a lot to say about blockbuster movies, about stardom, about everything. But it's wrapped up in this amazing sort of triumphant feeling that you get while you're watching it, that you get from the characters, that you get from everything in it. And obviously the marketing was great up until they released one of the trailers that showed off a bunch of the movie. But Nope is just, it's a blockbuster of all blockbusters. It's like Jaws. It's like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's one of those types of movies that makes you like just want to stand up and clap when the big moments in the movie happen. And I really enjoyed it. Jordan Peele does amazing things in this movie. If you didn't like his previous movies, you might like this one a little bit more because it is still a horror movie. There's some stunning scenes of horror and of just frightening terror, but there's also some nice light moments between the two main characters in the film, and everyone in it is just great. I love this movie. In a normal year, this would be the number one, but because of these next two, it gets bumped down a little bit, but Nope is really well worth your watch. Number two, we have Matt Reeves' The Batman, and this is the best Batman movie. I'm sorry. I love The Dark Knight. I love Batman Begins. I love Michael Keaton's, Tim Burton's Batman. But the Batman is absolutely amazing, and Robert Pattinson is a revelation as Batman. Matt Reeves knows what he's doing here, and it combines all of the things that you get in Batman. You get in Batman Year One from Frank Miller, which is one of the best Batman films out there, and it just does everything that you'd want out of a Batman film, and you get a great villain with the Riddler that also has some nice commentary on things that happen in our daily lives here. You get an appearance of the Joker. You have a great Alfred. It's 3 hours long, so it's long, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours, and on multiple rewatches, it just gets better and better. And Batman is in a great place. I know DC is in this sort of turmoil flux of James Gunn and Peter Safran coming in, but this is a nice brick, a nice building block that they have if they want to choose to do that with Matt Reeves as the Batman, because if it's any good, if it's as good or better than this movie, it's going to be amazing for his sequels that are coming. But starting off with the Batman, it's one of the best movies of the year. Number one, we have the movie that would not go away. We have Top Gun Maverick, the movie that shouldn't have been as good as it is. It shouldn't be as loved as it is by everybody. People that hate Tom Cruise love this movie. People that shouldn't love this movie love this movie. It was a revelation when it came out in theaters, and thankfully Tom Cruise pushed and pushed and pushed to get this one put out in theaters because it was an experience. Seeing it on the biggest possible screen with the loudest possible speakers. What can I say about this movie besides it's triumphant, it's action-filled, it's emotional. It made me cry, especially the scenes with Val Kilmer. None of it makes sense how good this movie is, but when you watch the movie, you realize, like, it's hard to put to words what about Top Gun Maverick is so good and makes it so good, but it's this legacy sequel that doesn't retread the original film at all. It has these nameless, faceless villains that you don't even really care about, but it still works, and you know, all these great characters that coalesce together, and Tom Cruise is just a goddamn movie star. He's like a Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton type movie star now, and Top Gun Maverick just shows that, and it's hard to describe. It really is. It's hard to describe how great Top Gun Maverick is without somebody seeing it, but you just have to go see it. See it on a big-ass screen. Go buy an 80-inch TV just to watch this and get some big Dolby speakers and some surround sound kicking your ears ass. But Top Gun Maverick is the best movie of the year, and it's close, but it's not really that close because of how well this movie just does at making you feel things. And so that's it for my top 10 list of 2022 movies. What's your favorite movie of 2022? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that YouTube stuff because it really helps me out to know what you want to see and what the people on the channel want to see. But that'll do it for me to you for now. So thank you for watching, and let's get into 2023 happy, healthy, and with plenty of great movies.